2014 was a year of mystery. It was a year of rockets. It was a year of discovery for Destiny. There was one thing important to the player base back then: exotics, and a lot of them. Activities could drop them from any source, any place, any time. But every single one of them was random. The game even had random chances at exotic bounties from doing dailies. It was that tied to RNG. I mean, hell, when you picked up the exotic bounty, it's not even like it told you what exotic quests you were doing. When you end campaigns in Destiny 2 now, you receive some armor exotic and an exotic weapon in the campaign itself. Hell, in the newest season, Season of the Plunder, there's even a chest with a Thunderlord and a Yeet chest piece for Titans. But in these days, you'd be lucky to see that gold.
It's my first freaking Gjallarhorn. Oh my god. Oh, Gjallarhorn.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I got fucking Gjallarhorn! I got the Gjallarhorn!
Oh, I got a...
Oh, I got the fucking last word!
Let's fucking go!
Oh my god, somebody called.
Bungie took the feedback that they may have steered the ship so far in one direction of RNG that it was turning players away. How did you feel about this though? Do you like RNG in Destiny, or do you hate it? Leave me a comment. Bungie looked to change this in the biggest expansion Destiny 1 would see, and with the help of this one exotic, the Touch of Malice, would see the roots of rockets and RNG turn into primary weapon damage with the power of a raid boss in hand, and with a DLC defining quest. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to like, subscribe, and relax, for this, my friend, is the story of Touch of Malice, and the story of its remaster in Destiny 2. Some footage in this video is from players around the community. Their links will be in the description of this video, as well as the music too. This is your last chance to snag this one-of-a-kind Oryx print and poster before it's gone. And this is your chance to snag the Oryx the Taken King merch in multiple colors made by the wonderful Nogi-san. Links to both down below. Gamer Subs is also free shipping with code EVAN. Trust me, all the new flavors and all of the health benefits, you'll never pick up another energy drink or cup of coffee again. Jay Schlatt approved this message, so please buy it before he kills
Apple.
And guys, not to sound like a shameless sellout here, but I have to do it because content Andy. Twitch is doing a Twitch Prime emblem in the month of September, so if you do have a Twitch Prime and you want to use it on an account, make sure your Twitch is linked to your Bungie, and you can use it on my account at EvanF1997. This emblem looks fantastic, and it goes nicely aside the 2 gifted sub emblem that Bungie always does. It's also September, so tier 1 subs are discounted on Twitch. So, link to that in the description. The Dreadnought was always considered the best destination in Destiny 1. For some of you, it's even the best of all time, but I want to tell you why. The Dreadnought flipped the idea of a giant open world on its head by bringing a claustrophobic, horrifying atmosphere completed by secrets and challenges through its eerie layout. The necromantic, yes, we're using big words, the necromantic layout complemented the idea of the Taken, a race of enemies brand new made by Oryx the Taken King from the other races of aliens from the game. The Taken and the Dreadnought's challenges were all in the pursuit of a goal: to one day take down the Taken King in the raid. In the Taken King, weapons were regrinded, sandbox changes made scout rifles stronger, and a new raid was on the horizon. One that was very special to a lot of players and is still their favorite: King's Fall. This raid tested players in almost every way a game like Destiny could have, and made for some of the most epic moments in a modern day video game. Seriously, this raid had it all, and the scale alone had a lot of players excited to jump into what it had to offer. The final climax of yeeting Oryx sent shockwaves through the community, and was the first time the game had ever used a mechanic called Final Stand, where the boss had one last push to try and kill you. After this triumphant moment, there was an epilogue, and when the quest popped up on screen, you knew it was about to go down. Scattered through the Dreadnought was challenges for loot like new legendaries, and these little Oryx cheese tokens called runes, which had a common tier, a rare tier, and a legendary tier that could all be used in some way at the Court of Oryx. This was a public event showdown against bosses that had some small raid light mechanics, to test players and get the kill in time. It's still one of the best activities Destiny has ever made, but players weren't just there for the artifacts that were also new in the Taken King, they were there for these little rocks. Calcified fragments. Calcified fragments were scattered everywhere in the Dreadnought. From the first moment you reached this place, to the Court of Oryx bosses, to the Kingsfall raid itself, these fragments were everywhere. Now, for Touch of Malice, a player needed 45 out of the 50 total in the game. Some of these were easier to gather than others, and some unfortunately were time gated. You don't want me to go over all 50, but maybe one day when we do a full Taken King retrospective, I will. 2 were from the Nightfalls, which included the Shield Brothers Strike and the Sunless Cell. 5 of them were in the raid itself, and about 10 of them were from the Court of Oryx. And the rest were hidden in the corners, alleys, hidden paths, and worm god chests of the Dreadnought. This was the ultimate collector's quest that just made the Dreadnought feel even more alive. Something I feel is missing from Savathûn's Throne World, and something I hope we see on Neptune and Lightfall. The calcified fragments weren't the only part of this quest either though. There was also world materials like Hadium Flakes and Worm Spore. 50 Hadium Flakes for that matter. This is the part of the quest that to me was the worst. Because while you could always buy the Worm Spore from the Vanguard vendor and the weapon parts were easy to collect, 50 Hadium Flakes were not easy at all. These were only to be collected by one on the Dreadnought, and they took forever to find and farm. Players eventually found a circle to run, but this step was not forgiving by any stretch. The finale of all of this, probably month-long stretch, was back where the Taken King DLC first started. Against a shade of Oryx and against a new boss, a Taken Wizard, back on Phobos, this mission clapped your cheeks. But the prize was worth everything. Touch of Malice would quickly go on to dominate the rest of Destiny for an entire year. It was almost a requirement to play Kingsfall with, just as it was almost a requirement to admire the weapon itself. With Oryx's soul trapped inside the gun, the name Touch of Malice is fitting since it damages the player on its final shot, for the benefit of never having to reload and stronger damage. It's debated amongst the community if it's Oryx's soul inside the gun, but I believe it is. If you think otherwise or you agree, let me know in the comments. Kings never truly die though, and while Touch of Malice is what I coined to be the game-changing exotic in Destiny 1, we need to evaluate its dominance and veracity in Destiny 2 to see if the remaster of the Taken King can live up to the legacy of the original. For a while, players were under the impression that the closest exotic to the Touch of Malice they'd receive was named Tommy's Matchbook, an exotic auto rifle that did more damage at the cost that the player would take damage. But it was never nearly as powerful as Touch of Malice. It would take some time and a lot of debate, but when Bungie announced remastered raids, it was only a matter of time before Touch of Malice was back. And in Season 18, Season of the Plunder, Kingsfall Remaster brought back Touch of Malice.
You got it.
You got it. I got exotic, I got Touch of Malice! Yeah! Yes, let's go! Let's go!
Second fucking
Let's
run,
fucking
you
go!
I got it! I fucking go!
Good job, team. You got the touch of Malice?
I got the belly of the touch.
I got the touch of Malice. I got the touch of Malice.
I'm gonna stab myself in the kid.
Dude, yo, look at this.
Oh my god.
Let's go, boy.
Guys, it's better than ever before, but at what cost? Your life again? Potentially super energy? Is there calcified fragments? Nope, it's RNG. Touch of Malice returned in Kingsfall from defeating Oryx in the final chest of the raid. No real build up to it, no quest afterwards, kind of nothing. Just a drop, leading some players to be angry about it, while others were okay with the RNG drop from the raid. What do you think though? Should Touch of Malice have been RNG? leave me a comment. There has been no calcified fragments to my knowledge that have been found in the King's Fall Remaster, but Touch of Malice is back now and it's really better than ever. Not only does it have all the same benefits as before, with the infinite ammo on the final bullet, taking damage for doing more damage, but now it even has an alt fire mode, allowing you to shoot Taken Blights like you're a Taken captain. Touch of Malice even has its own debuff on the Blight effect, meaning, yeah, you can do some serious damage. Also with Touch of Malice, and something I discovered when I first got it, is that if you swap the weapon back and forth a bunch of times, you die. Thanks, Bungie.
Crazy.
Build crafting and the power of Destiny 2 now make it a weapon that has absolutely changed Destiny again. Don't believe me? Have a look.
Let's go.
Touch of Malice. Tempo got baked.
The main benefit of Touch of Malice now is that it stacks so heavily with everything else in the game. Let's start with super energy regen. Destiny 2 changed its super energy to be doing damage and getting kills for regen. And this one, having infinite ammo and doing more damage, allows for that to happen. What's even better than super energy though? Not much. But Touch of Malice also stacks with necrotic grips, since it's a weapon of sorrow and it shreds through enemies with these on. Not to mention that Touch of Malice is sheer damage incarnate. It's also important to note that you can now run this with a linear fusion rifle in the heavy slot, so pure domination can commence. But I also haven't really told you about the best part, the catalyst. In the opening of King's Fall Remaster, and after someone gets the Touch of Malice, you can stand on this plate off to the side of the opening of the raid. This will make relics appear all over, and when picking these relics up, statues appear around. Players dunk their orbs into these statues, and then on to part 2, which was in the Golgoroth maze. After you open up the secret chest, there's another plate to stand on, and the Thrall statue, funny enough, is in a hole in the ground. Very meta idea here, Bungie. The final one was in the wall puzzle, where, by you guessed it, standing on a plate. Wow, Bungie actually did kind of use plate mechanics, didn't they? Players had to track down relics and dunk them into a Thrall statue at the beginning of this room. Finally, after dunking it into the Thrall statue, the basketball court of Oryx is back, and better than ever. Dunking relics into the Thrall hoop allowed for the player with Touch of Malice to get the catalyst, a wonderful homage to the basketball court for even more wonderful reward. So, you like Rapid Hit? It's a catalyst that in my opinion fits this gun perfectly, allowing for more stable hits as you keep increasing the amount of headshots, and it makes you reload insanely fast if you ever decide to reload Touch of Malice. Overall, it's a fantastic fitting catalyst for a fantastic fitting Destiny 2 exotic that I think players needed. This is the first time we've seen an exotic primary dominate this much. It is by far the best Destiny 2 exotic primary. And I couldn't ask for a better remaster. Because now I get to put Change Forever in the title again. Thank you. The Touch of Malice, the Taken King's poster child. A weapon that had a quest unlike any other in Destiny history, and fitting of an exotic that would change the way players experience the game forever. With a raid boss on the inside, some players thought it would remain in Destiny 1, only to be seen in the form of a matchbook in Destiny 2. In the King's Fall Remaster, the king would be placed inside the gun again, this time for RNG, and not the spoils of a season-long quest. But it does answer the question of wanting to become the Taken King. It answers it perfectly with Taken Orbs and even better build potential than ever. Touch of Malice is here to stay, and now I can confidently say it's the weapon to change Destiny 2 as well. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, follow my live stream at EvanF1997. I am live every single day for more content. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Dude, Mr. Puffin's just... What the hell was that, Preppy? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
3 symbols, 3 houses.
You're wild.
Shut up!
My ass.